Today, we are diving deep into that frantic, overwhelming feeling of anxiety. We're going to look at what's actually happening inside your brain when it strikes, and then we're going to unpack a powerful and kind of surprising 2,000-year-old method designed to stop it in its tracks.
You know that feeling, right? Your heart starts pounding, your thoughts are just a blur, and this wave of dread just washes over you. And that calm, logical part of your brain, the part that's supposed to say, hey, it's okay, it's just gone. It literally feels like something else has taken the controls. Well, it turns out that's not far from the truth.
So first things first, this experience is not a character flaw. It's not a lack of willpower. It's a specific, predictable, and actually well-understood biological event happening inside your head. Neuroscientists even have a name for it, the amygdala hijack. To really get what a hijack is, you've got to meet your brain's internal alarm system. It's this tiny almond-shaped thing called the amygdala. Think of it like a hypersensitive smoke detector. Its one and only job is to constantly scan for danger, and then sound the alarm, immediately. It is built for speed, not for accuracy.
So an amygdala hijack, a term coined by the psychologist Daniel Goleman, is what happens when that smoke detector goes off so loudly and so fast that it completely short-circuits the rational thinking part of your brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex. The alarm just blares before your thinking brain even has a chance to ask, hey, is that smoke or did someone just burn the toast?
Here, you can really see the two systems in conflict. You've got the amygdala on one side. It's the fast, reactive alarm just screaming threat. And on the other side, you've got the prefrontal cortex. That's the calm, slow executive trying to say, okay, let's just take a breath and assess the situation. During a hijack, the alarm system basically locks the executive out of the cockpit. The reactive brain takes over, and your thinking brain just goes completely offline.
Okay, so if the amygdala is the fire alarm, what keeps pulling the cord? What's the fuel for this fire? Well, a lot of the time, it's not an actual physical threat out in the world. It's the stories we tell ourselves inside our own heads.
In cognitive behavioral therapy, they have a great name for this: catastrophizing. It's a really specific thought pattern where your mind just leaps to the absolute worst-case scenario. You don't just have an inconvenience, you have a full-blown, life-altering disaster on your hands, and this kind of thinking, it's pure rocket fuel for the amygdala's fire.
This is a perfect example. A minor setback. You missed a deadline, but in your mind, it becomes a career-ending catastrophe. This single thought is the mental equivalent of that burnt piece of toast setting off the fire sprinklers for the entire office building. The reaction is totally out of proportion, but because that alarm is blaring, it feels 100% real.
So, the big question is, how do we shut off that alarm? How do we get the executive back into the control room? Well, the answer is pretty surprising. One of the most effective interventions we know of for this very modern-sounding neurological problem is over 2,000 years old.
Let's look at this ancient text from the Bible. The instructions are super specific. But did you catch that one word that seems totally out of place? Thanksgiving, right? When you're in the middle of a panic, gratitude is probably the absolute last thing on your mind. But as you're about to see, that one counterintuitive word, it's the key to the whole thing.
So this ancient passage actually lays out a clear three-step process. First, you state your worries, but you intentionally pair them with gratitude. Second, it promises a specific kind of peace as a result of that. And third, you're instructed to deliberately, and this is key, deliberately redirect your focus. This isn't just some old bit of wisdom. It's a practical cognitive behavioral sequence.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. If you look at the original Greek text, it adds a whole other layer. The word for thanksgiving is Eucharistia, and it acts like a cognitive pivot. It's incredibly difficult for your brain to feel anxious and grateful at the exact same time. And the word for guard, phoreo, whoa. It's a military term. It means to station a garrison of soldiers to defend a city. So this isn't talking about a passive, floaty feeling. It's describing an active, military-grade protection for your mind.
This all sounds great, as an idea. But how does an ancient spiritual practice actually affect a real-time neurological problem? Well, this is the really cool part. Modern neuroscience is actually confirming exactly how this ancient protocol works. It literally helps you rewire your brain.
Yeah, believe it or not, fMRI studies, where they can actually watch the brain in action, have shown that a consistent practice of gratitude, that Thanksgiving step, measurably dials down the activity in the amygdala. This chart shows it perfectly. Gratitude literally calms the brain's alarm system. You are actively turning down the volume on that inner smoke detector.
So what about step 3, redirecting your thoughts? Well, when you deliberately focus your attention on things that are true and noble and right, you're not just distracting yourself, you are actively exercising your prefrontal cortex. It's like taking the CEO part of your brain to the gym. And the stronger it gets, the better it becomes at stepping in, overriding the amygdala and shutting off the false alarm.
So let's just put the whole sequence together one more time. The amygdala hijacks your brain. Catastrophic thoughts pour fuel on that fire. But gratitude directly calms that hyperactive amygdala. At the same time, directing your attention strengthens your prefrontal cortex. And the result? The executive is back in charge of the cockpit and the hijack is over.
So what we're looking at here isn't just a nice idea or a simple prayer. This ancient protocol is a powerful form of cognitive training. Every time you practice it, you are harnessing your brain's amazing ability to change itself, a process we now call neuroplasticity, to physically alter its own structure and function for the better.
It really leaves us with a powerful final thought. In our constant search for the latest life hack or the newest mental health app, what if one of the most effective tools for calming our anxious minds has been available for 2,000 years, just sitting there, waiting for us to rediscover it?